The Benjamin Dixon Show is only possible with listener support. Go to www.patreon.com/The BPD Show.
Today is Monday, October 25th, 2021. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Activists all around the country are putting their lives and their bodies on the line on behalf of justice, on behalf of this planet, and on behalf of liberation. Let's discuss that today. We begin with On the Clock with Georgia Ford.
We take a look at a case coming out of High Point, North Carolina, the case of Fred Cox, who was killed almost a year ago when he was attending a funeral. Out of all things, he was at a church and all of a sudden he heard gunfire, and he tried to protect a 12-year-old boy along with his mother by getting them safely back inside of the church when he himself was grazed with bullets. He was shot at least 3 times in his neck, his back, his shoulder, his thigh. And there has been a lot of investigation done by the SBI as well as the local county who participated. But there's some conflicting reports about evidence. Ultimately, what we've learned is that no charges have been brought forth in this case. I had the opportunity to speak with his grandmother when I was in D.C. Take a look.
We also understand quite clearly
they were caught to not find this murderer guilty in High Point, North Carolina.
He was at a funeral on November the 8th, and there was a shooting on one side of the church, and there was another shooting, which the other shooting was Officer Hill. And he shot him 5 times, the back, the side, and the leg. And in the midst of him shooting Frederick, he saved 2 people's lives. 2 people. He pushing these 2 people in the church while this officer gunned him down like he wasn't a human being. And they wasn't shooting on that side of the church. And he has 2 children. That police officer took my baby/grandma life for nothing. No drugs, no gun, no nothing, no game. He was innocent. And they allow him to kill him and say he's not guilty. How can the system fail us like that?
Tanika Shannon, the mother of Fred Cox.
On Sunday, November 8th, 2020, my only child, Fred Cox, was murdered in a church by an undercover detective as he ran out of his car to save a mother and her son from gunfire that ignited on the opposite side of the church.
You know, and as you hear the story, I know there's a lot of questions that may come up, right? Why was there gunfire happening at the church in the first place? According to reports, apparently it was a gang that was responding to the person whose funeral Fred was attending. And then also, why was a deputy there shooting? What I've learned in researching this case is that apparently the deputy was there undercover. And so when you think about a deputy being there undercover and innocent people being caught in gunfire and no charges being brought up, I don't know. It just doesn't feel like it quite adds up, Ben.
Yes, Georgia, this case, I first found out about this case while with Roland Martin. He was speaking to the mother as well. And to hear the pain, and, you know, it's a mixture of pride I can hear, but also clearly the pain, because their son and their grandson, Frederick, he jumped and leaped into action and literally saved the lives of 2 people, sacrificing his own life And you could just hear it there. To understand the cause of his death has got to be the insult to injury when you consider that it was so unnecessary because of where it took place, how it took place, and the fact that it was an undercover police officer who should have had better training, the ability to ascertain the situation versus create the situation where he ended up taking a life, and then no justice on top of it, Georgia. Enough is enough.
Well, and, from a media standpoint, I always look at the narratives that were put out. It's almost been a year. And initially, there were accusations that Fred had a gun. And if you go back and you look at the investigation that was done by the SBI, they determined he did not have a gun. And so it is there's a huge contrast in narrative when you look on one side. And there's these accusations that he had a gun and he was shooting back versus Fred Cox was a hero who saved the life of a 12-year-old boy and his mother.
That's right.
You're painting two very different pictures.
That's right.
One that evokes empathy and compassion. One that is the story of a hero. And the other, that's the story that we always see that allows for a grand jury to produce no indictment against the officer. Because it paints a picture as though maybe he was responsible for what happened to him, that he deserved what happened to him, that what happened to him was justified. But nowhere in that narrative and what was portrayed to the grand jury resembled anything that really counted to the fact that he helped save not only a 12-year-old boy's life, but also the life of that boy's mother.
That's right. That's right. And Georgia, it's so many times that they have to, and they being this system of criminal justice, if we want to call it that, this injustice system has perfected the art of vilifying the victims, especially when we're Black, and precisely when we're Black men. They're so used to doing this. They're used to getting away with it because there's a level of dehumanization that has to accompany Black lives for the police to be able to continuously to get away with this. That's just the bottom line. Because if America for a moment has an epiphany of empathy and to actually see us as human beings, well, then that breaks through the hermetically sealed bubble of this dehumanization that Black people have been living under in this country for a very long time.
Well, Ben, I know that you've been tracking a story this morning as well.
Yeah, we're following Joe Biden and this fight against the filibuster, or the fight that may be coming with the filibuster. Joe Biden did a town hall last week, and he gave the impression that he's going to take a different approach with the filibuster, hinting towards the fact that he may be willing to actually undo it. Now, everyone who's following this on the political level, you understand that the filibuster is being used as an impediment to voting rights. It's being used as an impediment to this infrastructure bill. It's being used as an impediment to literally everything that's a part of Joe Biden's agenda. And so we have been screaming at the top of our lungs, rhetorically speaking, when are you going to do away with the filibuster? Let's take a listen to Joe Biden at last week's town hall.
When it comes to voting rights
is equally as consequential.
When it comes to voting rights, just so I'm clear, though, you would entertain the notion of doing away with the filibuster on that one issue. Is that correct?
And maybe more.
And maybe other issues.
Now, it's the and maybe more. We need him to do more than make a consideration, because when we consider the Republican opposition to literally everything, there's nothing that the Republicans are going to stand in solidarity or in bipartisanship with the Democrats on, as evidenced by this next clip. Georgia, you've been following this along with us. Joe Manchin is standing in the way of the Democratic Party. He is a Democrat, ostensibly, who's standing against the Democratic agenda in the form of Joe Biden's agenda. That said, Joe Manchin is considered to be too compromising for Republicans. And so when we have this conversation about bipartisanship, and we have this conversation about, can we get 10 Republicans to come over so that we don't have to do away with the filibuster? I want America to really understand that even Joe Manchin, who is the bane of our existence, who is, for all intents and purposes, a turncoat and a Republican, he is too radical for Republicans. Let's take a listen into this clip.
Actually had talked to Joe Manchin about some of the ballot protection issues, yet the Joe Manchin compromise was trying to get to the floor. Democrats were blocked by a filibuster of Republicans, not even letting it get to the floor. How do you feel about voting rights? You supported reenacting the voting rights bill when you were a House member in 2006.
And I would again extend the House, the voting rights bill. The voting rights bill hasn't been repealed. The 14th and 15th Amendment haven't been repealed.
Yeah, but the Supreme Court decision in 2013 basically gutted it.
You know, I was both a local election official and the chief election official for our state for a combined total of about 20 years. There are 10,000 election jurisdictions out there in America. The federal government deciding how elections should be run in all 10,000 of those jurisdictions is a bad idea. And I don't think Senator Manchin was surely fully on board with the supposed compromise. It was a compromise between the left and the far left. You still had matching funding of $6 for every dollar raised for House members. I like Joe Manchin, but I'm not driven by the Joe Manchin standard of whether something's a good deal or not. This was clearly a federal takeover of elections. It was not doing things around the edges of elections that direct the country in a more significant way, and I'm opposed to it. There's no right way to do the wrong thing. And federal government taking over elections is the wrong thing to do.
Now, that was Senator Roy Blunt making it clear that when we get to the bottom line, we're not talking about the infrastructure, Georgia. We're not talking about the budget. We're not talking about reconciliation. We're talking about the very fundamental tenet of being able to vote in this democracy. Republican Senator Roy Blunt is making it clear that they are not willing to compromise, even with Joe Manchin. And Joe Manchin has made it clear that he's not willing to compromise with the Democrats because he wants to be bipartisan with Republicans. So we have a little quandary here, don't we? Republicans have shown that they are completely refusing to do anything that's good for humanity. And Joe Manchin is saying, well, I'm going to wait for Republicans to come to their senses. And then we have Joe Biden saying we're going to wait for Joe Manchin to come to his senses. The absurdity of it all, Georgia. But I give it to you to take a look at it.
You know, I mean, at this point, we have talked so much about cinema and Manchin and the filibuster. You know, if Biden can't, cancel the filibuster, if he can't get that outlawed, we need to really start looking at how do we fill those seats, because at this point we need solutions and we need them fast. The vote for the Black community is under attack. And we have seen a digression of our voting rights. We've seen suppression of our voting rights. And so, I mean, they're not going to cooperate. They've shown that over and over again. And the more time that passes without any intervention or without Biden stepping up to the plate and actually doing something, the more time that passes, I feel like the more rights we are giving up.
Exactly.
And so at this point, I just feel like there has to be some galvanizing and organizing to position new individuals to take their seats. I mean, at some point, there has to be a strategy and solution to move forward, because I feel like we're at a stalemate.
No, that's absolutely where we are. And it's a little bit worse. It is a stalemate, but it's a stalemate that benefits the conservative side of the equation.
Absolutely.
Republicans are getting what they want, right? And then we have this stalemate because we can't move past the filibuster. Joe Biden, he said he's going to think about it. Well, I think it should be clear that if he wants to get anything done, and that's the real question, right? A lot of times we take a look at this season, the first 100 days and then the next 100 days leading up to the midterms, that kind of horse race comparison of a presidency. How good did Joe Biden do in his first 100 days? Well, at this point, we get the sneaky suspicion that they're trying to run out the clock and get to the midterm election when everyone is going to be in such a tizzy over whether or not who's going to get elected to this seat. No one is going to be focused on the fact that they went an entire 2 years and didn't deliver on behalf of Black people who delivered on behalf of Joe Biden.
And that's a shame. But this is the America that we live in. And so even when people aren't deliberately discriminating against us, there's a quote that says justice delayed is justice denied. And so you don't have to hate us or do anything to deliberately discriminate against us.
That's right.
But if you're standing in the way of the progress of people or just even the basic rights of people, this is our right as Americans. We have the right to get out and vote just like anybody else. And because we're not going to vote for you, you want to come up with some strategy to try to make it difficult for us to vote for somebody else.
That's right.
At the end of the day, the democracy is supposed to be about the people electing who we want to represent us. And that's not really what's happening. Not authentically, not organically are people getting into these seats because the people put them there. No, it's because there are politicians who are playing this game, who are coming up with a strategy that they can win.
That's right. All around us. Every aspect of it. We're getting ready to go into the redistricting. We're going to see gerrymandering like we've never seen before because Republicans are all in. Now, listen, it's not just Republicans. Democrats do this too. They just don't do it as good as Republicans do it, right? They're not as cutthroat or Machiavellian as Republicans. And so this is a game that Democrats are decidedly not capable of playing. But yet and still, they engage in it and they leave space for Republicans to do this because maybe one day in the future, they're going to want to gerrymander a little bit better, or maybe in the future, they'll use the filibuster to their advantage. But that's never the case. If you look at this, the ball is always moving decidedly towards the right, towards fascism. And Democrats are still standing by saying, well, maybe if we just hold on to the filibuster, maybe if we just hold on to all of these policies and all of this bipartisanship, maybe it'll work for us one day. How's that working out for you, Joe Biden?
Yeah. And how is that working out for you, America? This game that they're playing is affecting the day-to-day lives of American citizens. And it's unfortunate that political leaders who are elected to represent the people are so occupied playing a game that they're not serving the people who got them elected into the position that they hold. And it's funny, I think that in some degree, power is a social construct. And a lot of these political leaders, you see them that they're so drunk on their own power that they forget the true power is in the people. The people have the power. And so they can continue to play these games and, put off passing equitable voting rights.
That's right.
But at the end of the day, if they don't want to see what happened in 2020, that global uprising, if they don't want to see that happen again, they don't want to see the people hit to the streets and take their power back. They have to start making some progress. Because if this system continues to prove that it cannot work for people who look like you and me, there will be another 2020 sooner than what you think.
And the thing is, Georgia, to add on top of that is that without question, the results of these powerful politicians who are using that power to suppress the people, it inevitably hurts the people. Coming up in the 8:30 segment, we're going to be the Benjamin Dixon segment. We're going to be discussing what's happening in Wisconsin, because they're at the point in Wisconsin where now they're extending the hours for labor from children. 14-year-olds, extending it to midnight, where they're now going to be getting everything that they need out of. These are policies that hurt the people, and it's all because of powerful politicians trying to maintain that power. And it's oftentimes at the detriment of the very people who vote for these politicians. So we're going to be discussing that coming up in the next segment.
Before we move on, I just have to say that's absurd. That our country has demoralized itself to a place where we are willing to accept child labor as a means to fulfill our needs in our labor industry. But I digress. Speaking of youth, there are 5 youth who have been participating in a hunger strike in DC, and it's all for climate justice. Take a listen.
We also understand quite clearly that we are fossil fuel abolitionists in the spirit of abolitionists that have come before us, in the spirit of Sojourner Truth, in the spirit of Harriet Tubman, in the spirit of Frederick Douglass. I am sure that Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth, and Frederick Douglass, if they were negotiating how to end slavery, they would not invite slave traders to the abolitionist movement. Especially slave traders who are currently owning slaves. And so because you continue to work with the fossil fuel industry, it is outrageous that you think that we can believe what you are doing.
I'm State Representative Attica Scott, and I'm out here in front of the White House standing with hunger strikers who are demanding action on our climate from President Joe Biden.
My muscles are weak, and we know how much is at stake. I just asked John Kerry why the presidency isn't using their full powers to deliver on their climate justice promises, and he made excuses for Joe Biden. He said that there are complications in the Senate and that there's private sector money out there. I'm disappointed. I'm angry.
There's complications in the Senate. Private sector money is not going to save us. The American government is the most powerful institution in the world, and you all need to step up and take responsibility for this.
Joe Biden can and needs to be doing far more to get the full legislative federal climate policy that we need right now, and that he himself has promised us. Will he let Joe Manchin write his climate policy, or will he deliver?
So there we have, it started out as just 5 youth sitting in front of the White House demanding that President Joe Biden include some piece of legislation for climate justice in his Build Back Better initiative, right? And now those 5 youth who were participating in this hunger strike have been joined by different political leaders, as you saw, other young activists, as well as this is Reverend Yearwood here that you're taking a look at now. But it's all about climate justice. And when you see the oil spills, you see the wildfires, you see the icebergs melting, what they're asking for is some mitigation, some policies that would be put in place that would ensure that this planet will still be here by the time they have children.
That's right. That's right. And that's the determining factor for a lot of young people, whether or not they're going to have children. I mean, it's starting to seem irresponsible to bring children into a world that the leaders are, on a collision course with oblivion. I mean, we only have one planet. And no matter how much technology the billionaires and oligarchs try to throw into space, the fact is they won't survive there any longer than we'll survive here if we don't get some actual action. And Georgia, you said it a moment ago. You said that these policies, it's wasting time. And it's the lack of policies or the games that they're playing. It's wasting time. And this is the most, I think this is the most meaningful example of how much time we don't have.
Yeah,
we got to act. And these kids are out here. They're absolutely right, because you think about it, like it's not just going to be climate disaster for the entire globe, which is bad enough. But we do know that climate justice matters because it's going to be hurt. It's going to hurt us the most in the Black community and in marginalized communities.
That's right. That's right. Well, we are on the clock. Stick around for more on The Benjamin Dixon Show.
Good morning, everybody. Y'all know who it is. Y'all know the voice. Y'all know the sound. It's your boy, James Bubba Williams.
It's against the loud a little bit damn good.
Building, y'all. Good morning.
Baby, I feel real good. And I
y'all get your tea, your coffee, whatever it is you need to get your morning started, y'all. More coming up next on the Benjamin Dixon Show. Good morning, everybody.
Everybody, watch out. Watch out now. I'm ready for a good time, and I came to groove. The whole band's here, and we came to move. Got a fresh haircut and 2 new shoes. We're here all night like we got nothing to lose. I'm coming out the jacket, cause we're turning up the heat. I wanna see you clapping when you get up out your seat. It's time to make it happen when we hit.
We can cook up, we can stir up, when we hook up, just you and me with that cream. With that cream, baby. Pour that sweet on me, baby. Say that just we can cook up, we can stir up, when we hook up, just you and me with that cream, with that sweet. You can't break my focus. All I got right now is attention. Give me that divine intervention. You done got me stuck.
Lily, that's funny.
Every day is just the beginning. Take it to the bank, now I'm winning. Call me crazy, tell me lies. It won't stop me, watch me rise. No more anchors holding me down. All I need is more.
All right, y'all, it's time for more Benjamin Dixon Show. Let's get back to it. So welcome back to the screen. My brother from another mother, Benjamin Dixon. Good morning, everybody.
The Benjamin Dixon Show is only possible with listener support. Go to www.patreon.com/The BPD Show.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Monday, October 25th, 2021, and I'm joined by as always, my brother from another mother, James, DJ Exclusive. How you doing, man?
I'm pretty good, Ben. How about yourself, sir?
Man, I'm doing good. I've got a story to tell, and you're going to be mad at me.
Oh, God. Here we go.
So I sent you the picture yesterday. I went down to Daytona, and I got the sauce. I got the good sauce from Bethune-Girl. You know what, James? I didn't realize, I got real comfortable in Atlanta, and I'm in Jacksonville for a couple of days here while we get our next house set up and everything. But we just got a little layover here, a little vacation. Man, I carried myself down to the beach Friday night in my hoodie, down there meditating on the beach and just having a good time. I forgot that I was in the heart of Trump country. I forgot that as I'm down there just talking to myself, having a good time, do a little freestyle, just having a good time. I'm out there freestyling, and I end up doing some stuff about some Trump stuff. And lo and behold, some people overheard me. And I was like, you know what, man? I'm in enemy territory. I need to carry my butt back to the other side of town. And that's just the first half of what happened that night. The second half involves the police. I'll tell the rest of that. Patreon.com/The BPD Show. I'll give you guys the whole story in the after party. I know that's evil, but the best part, you got to be a patron for the best part. So anyway, man.
So you decided to go freestyling in Jacksonville.
I was just on the beach having a good time, man. I was just on the beach having a good time. I'm on vacation, kind of, you know what I mean? The beach is free. So I pulled up at the beach. It's nighttime. I'm just chilling. I'm just out there, mind my business, headphones in, not realizing, I had an audience, Doc.
Right, David.
I had an audience. I had talked about white supremacy and I had talked about all this. I turned around I said, Lord, let me get out of here. And then the cops pulled up. So it was a fascinating. And then on top of it, to boot, I had to do an interview. So in the middle of all this, I had to do an interview for a Chicago radio station. It was hilarious, but I still did a good job because, it doesn't matter if I'm asleep. It doesn't matter if I'm in the trenches. We get the work done. That said, the whole story is coming in the after party, patreon.com. Shout out to the guys at the radio station in Chicago who held it down while I was, ducking and dodging a couple of authorities. That said, let's get to the first story, man. I want to take us to something that's far more absurd than my weekend here in Jacksonville. something happening over in Wisconsin that is really shows you guys that, man, if we're ever in what we consider to be late stage capitalism, it's right now. James, we're to the point where instead of giving people more wages, instead of increasing salaries in order to increase the workforce, right? You got all these jobs. I know you've seen it. Drive around town. There's signs on every drive-through. Thank you for your patience. We don't have enough labor, blah, 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 blah. Instead of paying people more in Wisconsin, they're trying to get a bill passed that would allow 14-year-olds to be able to stay out working till 11 o'clock and I believe 12 o'clock, which is right now against their state legislation. It's against the law for young people to work that late. So their solution, James, instead of offering, because there are people who want to work. Let's be clear. Like in this whole process of the pandemic, there's been all these questions about whether or not people want to work. People have been willing to work in the pandemic. They're just not willing to work in the pandemic for chump change. You're going to have to you got to pay people to come out here in this pandemic and do this quote unquote essential labor, right? On the flip side, instead of meeting people and saying, hey, we'll give you 12, 13, 14, 15, 20, we'll give you something that's a livable wage. They said instead, let's get the kids. Let's get the kids to go out here and work. That's what's being up for consideration in Wisconsin. And at this point, I'm not surprised by any of this.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I remember when I was younger, I couldn't wait till I turned 16 to get my little work permit, go work and make my little own money. But I know that I wasn't going to stay out past 9 o'clock. So mom and dad were cool with it. I mean, brother had a job as well, too. We just tried to make ends meet. But now these days, no, y'all trying to change this to 11 o'clock to get these 14-year-olds out there. And then y'all going to pay them $8 an hour.
That's why. That's exactly why, right? That's exactly why, because they want to be able to pay the lowest wages possible. It's not rocket science, right? This is a lot of people say, oh, you got to read Karl Marx. You got to read this. You got to read theory. No. It's real simple. Your boss has every incentive to pay you as little as they possibly can. And if they can't pay you as little as possibly can, they'll go hire your children. And that's where we are right now.
Mm-hmm. That's terrible. That's really terrible.
On the flip side of it, your landlord has every incentive to charge you as much as they possibly can get away with charging you. While they have an incentive to, skate by on the repairs, whatever your situation is. But they're forces that are working against us. And a lot of times these politicians try to convince us that, no, we're really just trying to do this because it's in your best interest. You cannot tell me that me having my 14-year-old out until midnight so that you could get your last minute drive through at McDonald's is in our best interest as a society. You can't.
Yeah.
This is where we are, man. I want to shift real quick to, I don't know. Have you been following what's happening with Alec Baldwin and
man, I have. And it's so freaking sad because it's so many questions that are there, as an actor. And I feel so bad for him because now this man has killed somebody.
Yeah.
And it's not intentional. He has to live with this for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Rest of his life. And it just sucks how everything happened. And why would they even be using freaking live rounds on set?
Well, you know me, man. It's actually turning out to be a labor issue. It's turning out to be that the labor, the union workers left the set. And this accidental firing, actually, they had an accidental firing in the previous week. It actually went off twice before this. And so the union workers walked off of set, leaving non-union workers there. And it appears as though this is not just a tragedy in terms of, an accident, but it's also a major labor issue because, there should have been union labor work. I mean, when you're dealing with something like live ammunition or even blanks or weapons, I mean, dude, this reminds me of, I don't know how, I mean, I'm sure you get deep into movies and whatnot, and karate, Bruce Lee, and then his son. It reminded me of those stories. I'm like, you have to understand that, when this happens, You have professionals who make sure that this never happens again. And when you get so greedy that you don't want to pay union workers, this is how stuff happens. And in this case, someone has lost their life. And so this is going to, I don't know which way this is going to go. I mean, it is a tragedy. Yeah. I do feel bad for Alec Baldwin. I mean, to be in that position, I mean, I feel even worse for the victim. I feel even worse for the victim's family. But at the same time, man, it's like, I have no idea how this is going to play out, but I know, he's lawyered up at least 2 or 3 times over at this point.
Oh yeah. Alec Baldwin has been in the game for a long time. And David said that they didn't strike, but they got a tentative deal, so they didn't strike before the deal came through. But the site has some additional information. So, David, play that site real quick, David.
Following the fatal and accidental movie set shooting involving actor Alec Baldwin. CBS's Lilia Luciano has the latest in Hollywood, where gun protocols are coming under scrutiny.
The focus is now turning to why was Alec Baldwin handed a loaded gun? This as the Hollywood film community holds another candlelit vigil tonight for Helena Hutchins.
Tonight is about Helena.
In Albuquerque, the film and TV industry and the public remembered the 42-year-old cinematographer. Today, Santa Fe sheriffs are investigating what led to Thursday's fatal shooting when Alec Baldwin fired a prop gun that killed Hutchins and wounded director Joel Souza.
We need some help. Our director and our camerawoman has been shot.
Baldwin is cooperating with investigators in what is being considered an accidental shooting. Assistant Director Dave Halls yelled "cold gun," according to police, before handing it to Baldwin with a live round in it. But a 911 call raises questions about how the weapon was handled.
ID. He's supposed to check the guns. He's responsible.
Kevin Williams has supervised prop guns on movie sets for decades.
They should always be carefully monitored and made sure to be secured at all times, making sure that no live ammunition is ever brought to set.
Hannah Gutierrez was responsible for handling the guns on set. It was her second movie as head armorer. According to the search records from the sheriff's department, that armorer had 3 weapons that she had prepared. Then the assistant director grabbed one of them and handed it to Alec Baldwin.
How is it possible that a gun with the ability to kill was even on set?
Any gun could kill, even a prop gun. But the key is to understand, why was there live ammunition on set? That's something that experts have told us should never, ever be the case.
Bro.
That's a lot. That's so much, Ben.
That's why,
because it's literally like something from a movie that you'll see. It was a movie that was out years ago, and on the set of the movie, they had bought live rounds, and the person ended up killing somebody. And this was a movie, so here it is now. Just to see this is just like crazy, because everybody knows that there should never be live rounds on the set like that. It just makes no sense.
It makes so little sense that my conspiracy theory senses are starting to ring, man. I'm trying to avoid it.
We're not going down that rabbit hole, because mine probably doing the same thing right now. You already don't know.
Let me tell you, one of the reasons I reject conspiracy theories so much is because I think we all have a natural predilection to fall for them. Yes. But my God, that is so irresponsible that it almost borders intentional.
Yeah. Ben.
Let me get back to politics.
Yes, please, because don't go down there, because I'm gonna go with you.
You know what? See, somebody here got to be responsible.
Right now, neither one of us are responsible.
Because no, you can't tell me. I think with was it Brandon Lee? I think thing with Brandon Lee, it was like, it wasn't live ammunition, and I have to Google it again. Bruce Lee's son, I think it was like a something fractured off the gun. I don't remember exactly, but live ammunition.
Yeah,
that's, even if that was a mistake, there's culpability in that. Like you don't simply get away with, that's manslaughter. Right. There's some responsibility there. Now, whether or not that responsibility is Alec Baldwin's, that's going to be up to the investigators. Because, if somebody puts a gun in his hands and tells him that it's good to go for his job, I don't know what else that man could have done, to be honest with you.
And, just listening to them when they said the armorer or armory person was checking the guns and that the AD just grabbed one, man, we can't I know that they're under the gun. This a bad reference to me. I know that they're in a rush sometimes to. I hate you, Ben. I know they're in a rush to get stuff done on set.
That tickled me so much. I'm sorry.
I know, because when I did, I'm like, oh my gosh.
You ran right into that one.
I did. I ran like a freaking train.
Okay, no, this is not the right segment for that.
Shut up, man.
Right. Go ahead, Dave.
But they're in such a rush to get everything done that these mistakes, they can't happen like this.
They can't.
You can't have these types of mistakes.
This is real life. This is real life. And Helena Hutchins lost her life. 42, man. She was in school with us.
42.
She's a in our cohort. So young and so talented, and lost because of what we do know for sure, that is a reckless tragedy that did not have to happen. So we'll be keeping an eye. I want to do one more story before we get over here to break and go over to Like It or Not. India Walton, who we've been following her campaign. She is the young Black woman who won the Democratic primary in Buffalo for the city mayor. The opponent, Byron Brown, who is the incumbent who lost the primary, decided to run a write-in campaign. So we've been following this for some time. And India came on a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Dope sister.
Love India to death. Yes, I do.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez just endorsed her, along with Chuck Schumer, along with several other high-profile Democrats. And it's about time. Good on you guys. Chuck Schumer, the Senate Majority Leader from the state of New York, endorsing India Walton from Buffalo, New York. I want us to listen to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who is from the Bronx, representative, I believe, from the 14th district. I could be wrong with that, but let's listen to her as she endorses India Walton.
Are you ready to elect?
Come on, Wu-Tang shirt.
One of the most badass mayors in the United States. But the only way that we do it is because we did it in a city first. When India Walton successfully makes the city safer without militarizing it further. When India Walton supports a labor movement with protections around labor, we're going to be able to do it on the federal level. When India Walton raises wages here, when India Walton protects renters and tenants here, when India Walton starts to cap and starts to stop the runaway cost of housing in this city, we're going to be able to do it federally. That's why it's important. We rally behind our candidate's nominee. That is what we do. Whether that nominee is you or the person you're going for, person you're not going for. Any Democrat right now that is trying to establish a precedent of not uniting behind the party's nominee is playing a dangerous game with our democracy. So I want to send a very direct message. To some of those folks. Because if you, especially as an elected official, and as a Democrat or elected official, try to go out and undermine your party's nominee, how can you ever turn around and ask people to support you when you are the party's nominee?
That's right. She preaching, bro.
She is. With her Wu-Tang shirt on. I like that.
Wu-Tang forever. Did she have on Timberlands too? I didn't see the video. Did she have on Timberlands too?
I'm not sure. Oh, and David said that's an actual India shirt using the Wu-Tang. Okay.
Oh, all right, India Walton.
Yeah, India Walton on it. I love it.
She's a force, man. Love that sister. And everything that AOC said, we co-sign here. And especially the part about Brother Byron Brown in the city of Buffalo, New York, who is carrying out his own version of Donald Trump's big lie, who cannot concede. How is it that this big bad black man can't concede to this wonderful black woman? I would be more than happy to digress on behalf of someone who beat me, especially if it's a black woman. It's not a good look, Byron. That said, no Democrat can expect anyone to support them if they're not willing to support a nominee that they don't particularly like because she's a Democratic socialist. Like, she wants people to have health care, James. She wants you and me to be able to go and see the doctors. Like this last little bit of my back. Most of the time when I'm at the beach, James, I'm stretching and I'm doing some I think they probably think there's like a black Buddha out there because, I'm a little heavy set, but I have on my hoodie and I'm out there stretching and I'm really stretching. I'm trying to get this last little bit in my back. It would be great if people with lower back pain like that could just go to a doctor and go see a chiropractor. You know what I mean? India Walton is fighting for simple stuff like that so that every person, because there's a lot of folks who don't even have the experience of living their life without health care. India Walton has. I have. James, I know you have. Most black people have at some point. So it just blows me away that this black woman who's fighting on behalf of all people, but especially black people, just wants y'all to get health care. And now all of a sudden, Democrats and Byron Brown in Buffalo is like, ooh, she's a socialist. But anyway.
Right, man.
These people get on my nerves, man.
I already do. And a hoodie on being in Florida. Come on, bro.
I've lost my mind. I don't have many things, but it's the ocean is talking to me, man. It's like it's renewing. We'll talk about it in the next segment. Let's get ready to go to break.
You know what? It sucks, though. What sucks is I hate that I have to say being a hoodie in Florida, you should be able to wear a hoodie wherever the hell you want to and not be afraid to be attacked, looked at, or talked about. But it sucks that I have to say that. A hoodie, man.
Look at my naive ass. My naive ass. I was thinking about how hot it was because it's hot as hell here, man. I'm like, why is it 80, 90 degrees?
Right. And that's the other part of it. Like, why you got a damn hoodie on, big
because that's all
black
man. That's all I had no intention. Like we just doing a little stayover. It's a little vacation, man. And I did not realize it was 100 degrees in Jacksonville. That said, yes, I'm wearing a hoodie in a very dangerous state for a black man to wear a hoodie. And I'm on the beach trying to stretch and do yoga and looking like Black Buddha. And I'm thinking it would be great for people who have lower back pain to go see a doctor. Vote for India Walton. Vote for these socialists. Vote for these Democratic socialists. They just try to help you to go and get your teeth fixed, right?
Hello?
Because we're not just talking about, lower back pain. We're talking about some of y'all whose teeth have been falling out for the last 40 years and y'all still voting for Republicans. What the hell, man?
Leave my daddy out of this, man. Good morning, Mama and Daddy. I love you. Daddy ain't got no teeth. I love my daddy, though.
Put it up in the chat room. Just put it up in the chat room if you've ever dealt with dental pain so bad that you really consider pulling it out yourself.
Bruh.
Come on, man. Anyway, for all the rest of you who've never experienced that, patreon.com/the BPD show. If you've never had problems with finances and you've never known what it's like to have teeth paid, subsidize our show on behalf of all the other people in the audience who still don't have health care because we're still waiting on Joe Biden. We're still waiting on the Democrats. Y'all know I could turn anything into anything. James, take us to a break before I find some cliff to take us off of.
Right.
We'll be back.
He is so damn right, though, because when I tell you, man, that's the worst pain ever. Then you trying to sit there and like, okay, I ain't got no dental insurance. The dental insurance I do have is not going to cover anything but a damn cleaning. So now I can't pay for it. And I got to sit here with a rotten ass, hurting ass tooth just sitting there engulfing my life. And then just have to go and just pick it up myself. Get the pliers and just go to work. I don't know what the hell I'm pulling. It's going to pull until it stop hurting. Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned, man. Like it or not, with Rebecca Azor. It's coming up next, y'all. Y'all stay tuned. Good morning, everybody.
Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop.
What do you call an alligator in a vest? What do you call an alligator in a vest? An investigator. Oh my gosh. Susan, good morning, Susan.
Stop that. I hear him chatting the noise. Move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I
Until they tell me it's time to come back, y'all. We're gonna keep on telling. Let's see. I got another one for y'all. Hold on, here we go. Why can't your hand be 12 inches long? Why can't your hand be 12 inches long? Because then it'll be a foot.
Get out the sheets. We came for one man, forget my peace. Take the west, I'll take on the east. I'ma put him in the cage, never let out the. I hear him chatting the noise. Can't stop for the top.
Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned, man. We got more coming up next. Matter of fact, y'all welcome back to the screen. Benjamin Dixon, y'all.
Like it or not, with Benjamin Dixon starts now.
Wait a minute. I didn't think we were ready to come back with the intro yet.
And then you're
and then the camera went on. I'm like, wait a goddamn minute. What's going on?
It didn't really flow the flow wasn't flowing the way we needed it to flow. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is Monday, October 25th, 2021. 6 years off. I want to come back before we head to Like It or Not. I wanted to come back with that clip, David, from Janet Yellen. And she was discussing the tax plan of Joe Biden. Heavy duty stuff, but we could dissect that stuff pretty easily around here. I want us to take a listen to this clip because the question that's being framed and asked by her, by the host from CNN, has an inherent right-wing Republican framing. And that's a real problem when we're talking about the media. Why is the media asking a question that does the bidding of conservatism? Let's take a listen to this clip.
I think what's under consideration is a proposal that Senator Wyden and the Senate Finance Committee have been looking at that would impose a tax on unrealized capital gains on liquid assets held by extremely wealthy individuals, billionaires. I wouldn't call that a wealth tax, but it would help get at capital gains, which are an extraordinarily large part of the incomes of the wealthiest individuals. And right now, escape taxation until they're realized, and often they're unrealized, and at death benefit from so-called step-up of basis. So it's not a wealth tax, but a tax on unrealized capital gains of exceptionally wealthy individuals.
Whew, a lot of words. Here's what she's saying. She's trying to explain to the host, that was CNN State of the Union, and that was Secretary of the Treasury Janet Yellen explaining the tax plan that Joe Biden is trying to get passed. Now, keep in mind, there's nothing that's going to pass between the filibuster, between Joe Manchin, between Kyrsten Sinema, and all the Republicans. Chances are this policy, along with everything else, is dead on arrival. Now, that said, it doesn't mean that this isn't a good policy. What Janet Yellen is saying there about unrealized capital gains taxes means that there's a lot of rich people out there who ain't paying their taxes. A lot of rich people who make their living off of capital gains, which means they're not paying the labor tax that we pay. Those of you who pay your regular taxes out of every single check, there are people who are making billions of dollars who never see a fraction of the percentage that you see. It just doesn't happen. In fact, this country has penalized labor to the benefit of capital. If you make your money in capital gains, you can skirt free as much as you possibly can, or at least as much as you can afford accountants who can do that for you. Because we're talking about magnitudes of order of difference between your uncle who has some money and these billionaires who have enough accountants and attorneys to make sure the IRS never gets a dime of their wealth. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about your cousin. We're not talking about some of you who may have a couple of $1 million somewhere. You're fine. We're talking about those people who have so much money that they've been able to change the laws in their favor. Those are the people who have been skating out on paying taxes. And that's what the conversation is shifting to. And you're going to hear a lot of conversations right now, starting today, discussing how bad of an idea it is to raise taxes on the wealthy. Now, I wish Janet Yellen had a better communication specialist to help her communicate this, because all of the language that she used at the end of the day, James, she needs to just help us to understand something very simple. It's time for us to tax the rich. Because if we don't tax the rich, you know what comes after taxing the rich is eating the rich. These folks got to pay their fair share, man. They got to pay up because we got stuff we got to fix. The roads are broken. The rent's too damn high. And they sitting here getting their third yacht. And we paying a higher percentage tax. There's secretaries who pay more in taxes as a percentage of their income than billionaires.
That's terrible. Yeah. Tax their ass.
Tax them.
Tax them all.
Tax them. Anyway, hang on. Now, see, I'm gonna do what David was supposed to do. I'm gonna look at Slack before I just go to this next thing. Okay, great. So now I know we could go to a break. Let me stop. Let me stop before one of our best laborers decides to strike on our show.
I wasn't gonna say that too.
Be good to labor. Be good to those who labor amongst you. I think that's actually a scripture. Look at that.
He did a hard cut and then took the music out and everything. I'm like, God damn it, not shit.
The whole show has been canceled because we were not kind to those who work amongst us. David, we love you, man. James, take us to a break. We're going to stay on a break a little lengthy here. When we come back, we're coming back with Rebecca Azord. I'm going to go call her and see where you at, sis.
Right. Okay.
We'll be back, like it or not, after this.
Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned, man. Rebecca Azor is coming through sometime soon. We'll see. And if not, then, me and Ben go carry it. We got this. Good morning, everybody. Good morning.
Holding on to all the sparks, fly into the dark while we collide. Tell me that I'm all you ever wanted. Take me to a crowded place and I know.
Back to the screen, my brother from another brother.
Another brother, mother, hubby.
Brother from another mother. Benjamin Dixon, y'all. Look.
James, who is that we listen to?
Off the Grid.
Off
That's the name, Off the Grid.
That.
Yeah.
I'm feeling that. You know who I'm not feeling, man? Boosie.
So ain't nobody stunned Boosie ass.
Boosie stuff, Boosie. And like Boosie is losing it, man. For those of you who don't know who Boosie is, what's the song?
BOOSIEBADAZZ. That's me. Wipe me down.
Wipe me down. Yeah. You got to know Boosie now. Great song. Right. Not so good of a guy. He's had this ongoing thing with Lil Nas X. Everybody knows Lil Nas X, his son, Old Town Road, right? I knew that was a hit before Garth Brooks even got on it. Not Garth Brooks. What's your boy name? Billy Ray Cyrus. Billy Ray Jesus. Before Billy Ray Jesus got on the song, I knew it was a hit. Boosie got a problem with Lil Nas X, man. And he particularly has a problem with Lil Nas X being gay. And he just won't let it alone. I mean, it's okay, fine. Whatever you disagree with fine, but just shut up then. Like, don't. It's none of your business what that man does with his time, right? This is the way I figure it. But Boosie is literally obsessed with what this man is doing with his life. Mm-hmm. So much so that Lil Nas decided to troll Boosie and say that they had a song coming out, which they don't. They clearly are not going to do a song together.
Clearly.
Lil Nas X, yo trifling ass.
He woke up and said, I got time today. Yeah, so me and Boosie doing a song together.
He said he woke up and chose violence, man. This was Boosie's extremely homophobic response. He said, stop trolling me, F word. You a whole B word, playing with a gangster, shaking my head. You can keep S-ing, it's I can't even read it. And getting blanked in your ass and peace. I would too if I was Lil Nas X. Oh, then he starts saying that he should kill himself.
Yeah.
And then he said, you would do this world a huge favor. Nobody wants you here. So he went from the homophobia wasn't enough. He had to escalate. He's so troubled. Boosie is so troubled by the fact that Lil Nas X said that he's going to do a song with you. Boosie, have you seen your album sales? You should want to do a song with Lil Nas X, bruh. But he's so bothered by it, he instead goes full homophobic and then tells the man that he should kill himself. Like, wow.
Yeah. Only thing I say is let's see if Boosie is going to get canceled. But I digress.
He had to delete the tweet. Twitter took it down. And then Lil Nas X responded. We have his response on the screen. He said, "I'm truly saddened. I've never been so mortified in my life. I can't believe Disney Channel has yet to play Halloween Town this entire October." In other words, he ain't studying Boosie's ass.
He ain't studying Boosie's ass because he already know. Boosie, I forgot we on these good channels.
Yes, we're streaming on these on the white folks internet today. We're not on the black folks internet.
Right. We on this Charlize Theron internet.
We on the Izzy exam. Wait, Iggy. Wait, which one is the White House president? We on the Izzy internet.
Doing all this on Garth Brooks good internet. I got it. We doing all this on Celine Dion good internet.
Wait a minute. My heart will go on.
Okay.
Near, far.
See, this what the hell happened when Rebecca don't have ass.
This is what we think about you, Boosie. Just to bring it full circle.
Oh man,
I've never seen a man so preoccupied with what another man does with his ass. Never seen somebody. Oh man. It's like wanting to know like what type of tissue this man likes to use. Like some things are personal, Boosie. Stay out of that man's tissue.
Right. Bro, you wake up and just Lil Nas X is on the brain, dude. It's okay. It's okay, Boosie. You got a man crush, Boosie. It's okay.
Hey man, he tall, dark, and handsome, man. Like it's okay, Boosie. I mean, he real tall. How tall is Lil Nas X? Like 6'9", something real tall. You never know, Boosie.
Oh man,
he right there, right? That Ben Dick out there on that gate stick. That's what he gonna say. Boosie. Man, don't try me, homie.
You don't know who I am? Oh, Boosie, baby.
I'm Boosie. Wipe me down.
I'm gonna do a song with you. I don't do no song with you.
Oh man, Boosie. What's Lil Nas X doing today, homie?
Okay. I don't like that. You remember Minister Society, brother? I don't like that. I don't like that shit. No. That was Boosie ass all day. Hey, Rebecca.
Hey.
Oh man, Rebecca, you better come save us before we get the whole show canceled. Boosie gonna send his guns after us. Ain't Boosie in Atlanta?
Hell no.
Where Boosie from?
Where he from?
He does live in Atlanta, but he's in like the outskirts, but he's from Louisiana, I think Baton Rouge.
Baton Rouge. Oh, that's right. Okay. All right. Wipe me down. Hey, his rapping voice.
Hang up the Boosie impersonation right now. Right?
It's not an impersonation. It's Boosie slander. And so long as he keeps slandering Lil Nas X, he can catch it, man. Leave that man alone. Yeah. How you doing, sis?
I'm doing good. So, I got a story. And good morning to the children.
Go ahead.
Two stories. It's two stories. So,
okay.
I couldn't get on earlier this morning because I dropped my Cam Link cord in the sink.
Wait. You dropped your
what?
My Cam Link cord in the sink.
So just the cord, not the Cam Link itself. Okay.
Yeah. I had to wait till it dried off.
Okay.
Before I put it in the camera.
We are the most advanced jerry rig show in the history. So
I saw you, Ben texted me and stuff. I didn't want to tell you guys. I'm like, I don't know if I broke it yet. So I had to see if it was going to work. So I had to let it dry off. Secondly, I woke up this morning.
Our show needs a sugar daddy.
I woke up this morning and I saw in my corner, because I had a plant. Let me show you right here. There was a plant. I had a Majesty palm plant right up in here.
I remember that tree.
Yes, right.
Yeah,
And now it's outside. Okay, because I woke up this morning and there was a worm.
Rebecca, plants with worms are healthy plants.
No,
like depending on the kind of worm.
I understand, right? But not in my house. So that I woke up and the worm. And mind you, I've been taking care of Lucy for like a good
minute.
2-3
the whole pandemic.
months. Yeah. No. Lola and Lynette. That was the whole pandemic. But Lucy, I've been taking care of her for like 2 or 3 months. She was my first huge plant that I'm doing such a good job. She was dying. I brought her back to life, trimmed her down, spruced up her soil. But little did I know that when I would wake up this morning, I would see a worm dead on the floor.
It was dead.
It was that. No,
you're afraid of a dead worm.
Oh no, listen. So then I said, where did this come from? So then I started to take my spray and say,
I think a scorpion killed it.
Maybe those worms are trying to come in from the outside. So I did my backdoor spray, whatever.
The barrier defense.
Yes. So then I walk away. And I come back and I was talking to my girlfriend on the phone. I said, girl, you wouldn't believe what happened this morning. I was telling her. Then I looked back in the pot. I looked back in there and then I saw white little caterpillar looking things just living their life like it's golden in my place. I said, no.
You didn't kill him, though, did you?
It gets crazy. So I'm talking to her. She's talking to me. We talking. And then I'm just looking at the pot and I'm like, girl, I don't know. Lucy gonna have to go outside. Cause she names all my plants. So I said, Lucy gonna have to go outside, girl. So then I look again and I start to see something trying to make its way to the top of that soil. I said, oh no, girl, this plant is going outside. It's going to have to die in the winter. It's going to have to die. I'm going to the store and I'm getting a fake plant. Because if you think with worms crawling through my house, you crazy. I said, no, I tried my little plant, my lucky bamboo.
Rebecca,
my other bamboo. All of these plants that I have don't do me no wrong. But I said I'm gonna go and
your ancestors are a little touched right now. They're like, I know you're not afraid of little worms.
Yeah, while I'm sleeping, you think I want worms coming on my? That thing is outside. You can't.
The worm is not going to crawl up your bedpost, Rebecca.
I feel so bad for Lucy. Anyways, long story short, Lucy is outside. I feel bad because I've loved
20
on
degrees
her.
outside.
I've loved on her. I've gave her, and it's going to be a cool winter.
Sorry to that plant.
Sorry to Lucy.
Sorry to that plant.
Sorry to Lucy. Anyways, that's my story. I apologize.
So the bug, you said it was one trying to work his way up?
I looked at it and said, oh no, girl, it's something trying to come up right now. Right now, as we speak. It was literally trying to wiggle itself up, going back down. Then it started moving throughout the soil. I said, not
Oh, hell no. Okay. At that point, Lucy would have been out the door for me too, because Brown do bug.
I got to take her out. I got to take her out to the trash. And I feel so bad because maybe someone else can love on her. I don't know.
Oh God, Rebecca.
I thought I was a really good plant mom, but there are some things I will not.
You just abandoned that plant.
There are some things I would not.
It's a worm. Somebody said in the chat that Rebecca gave a plant ivermectin.
I should, right? Doesn't that help deworm it? I should. I had to abandon my plant child. I had to. I can't. I felt bad too because I loved her and I felt like we were connecting. Because
y'all, we're so ridiculous on this channel. Rebecca,
we start off. You can still bring it back in.
Not in my home. She has to go. If there's anybody who's looking for a plant,
it is a worm.
and who could take care of it, I will.
Girl, bring me Lucy, girl. I'll take her.
Okay, because I can't do it.
And what's up with the 3 L's? What's your friend's name that named the plants?
Her name is Edina, and
there's no L in her name at all.
There's no L in her name, but she likes the names. I guess with L's on them, so she kept them really.
Edina. What's up, Edina? Or no, I know
Yeah.
of her. I know of her.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Right.
everybody should.
Yeah.
Because when I'm talking about my one friend, that's my one friend.
That's it.
That is my one friend.
Yeah. Rebecca, you dropped a clip. So we got two clips here dealing with COVID-19. One of them you dropped. It was really a touching clip, but the other one is something crazy coming out of California, the Barclays Arena. Protesters who are standing in solidarity with Kyrie Irving's refusal to take the vaccine. Now, he's going to refuse to take the vaccine. He won't be able to play. And I guess, according to reports, he's still going to get paid at $17 million. I think that's what Charles Barkley was talking about last week. Protesters. These are the same folks, Rebecca, who a couple months ago would have told them to shut up and dribble. Now they're down there on the scene protesting. And you should be able to see it on your screen. Let's take a look at the protesters from protesting on behalf of Kyrie Irving, a basketball player who refuses to take the vaccine. Let's take a look at it. And with Kyrie.
Girl, y'all doing all this for Kyrie Irving, girl. Real strong January 6th energy right now.
Yeah.
Like y'all from the cabinet revolution.
They wildin', bro.
Yeah,
They
I was
wild.
like, if I did that one more time, that was the longest let Kyrie play. I get it. Now for me and my worm infested.
I was going to call for us to come back earlier, but you were a little preoccupied over there. So go ahead.
So I was actually texting them in the group. They're telling me to repot Lucy, and because they want Justin.
We trying to do a show. You telling D that she can wait till 10:30 like everybody else.
No, she talking about in the chat room, Ben. She's in the chat room.
Yeah, I was in the chat room. I was talking to our
You in the
people.
chat? We're trying to do a cut.
Yeah, but
Hey,
that's the part. That's part of the
Ben
process.
so special, Rebecca. He know, like, I don't be over here looking at the damn phone all day long in the chat room.
It's just when I look at the
Damn,
phone,
James,
though,
I'm just
but when
trying to give
when I look
Rebecca
at the
a hard
phone,
time. Come on.
Yes, I was gonna say he automatically assumes that I am texting other people. Okay, so it could be-
I don't care.
No.
Listen, I don't wake up thinking about you like Boosie wakes up thinking about Lil Nas X. I don't care.
No,
who
I
you
know, but
text.
what I'm saying is when I'm on the show, you automatically assume that it's just I'm having fun with my
I'm
friends,
guilty.
like
I'm-
a father.
I'm guilty.
Like, oh, what
I'm
you doing?
guilty.
What you doing? What you doing? What you doing?
Hey, are you paying attention? I'd really be like, Rebecca, here's the good part I wanted you to see because I know you're going to say something good. So
I can listen with my ears.
But no headphones.
I'm done. I'm done. Take her down, David.
But no, seriously, all of that, this whole thing surrounding Kyrie Irving, and not only Kyrie Irving, the conversation that people are having around COVID-19, and the fact that they're saying it's the freedoms of people that we're taking away, when it's different when we have these basketball players who are supposed to know. For me, if you're playing with someone and you don't want to infect them, their children, I understand he may have his stance on it. I don't understand his stance on it, but I understand that he does have a stance on it. Okay. At this point, you should just go sit down, talk to your fans, help them understand that, hey, there is no need to attack. This is my choice. I'm going to stand right beside my choice, and I'm going to go sit my behind down at home and do what needs to be done, right? For whatever. But when we take these platforms, and this is what I say, when we take these platforms and we start saying stuff like, you know, I know what I'm doing for myself, and I know that, you know, what's going in my body. And so now you're creating these rhetorics that what the vaccine does is either kill, still kill and destroy, right? That's what you're saying.
Right. They say the vaccine, the whole devil out here.
Meanwhile, being on the other side of the vaccine and having your own opinion, stance on why you don't want to do it, your own opinion on why you want to do it, right. That's fine. But don't put, you have this platform of so many, right? And when you do stuff like that, you got these people who are outside thinking that they don't want you to play because they're being mean to you. But in fact, if they don't want you to play because they don't want you infecting other players who go home to their families or people in the arena or things of that sort, they want to protect their fans, especially with the amount of people that go there. If y'all want to go get infected by popular people, just go to a concert. They have those all the time. Head over to California. There are a lot of people who are doing vaccine free. Like, no, you don't even need the vaccine to come in nowhere. You don't need to have a negative COVID test to go in some places. All around the United States, there are places like that. If that's what you want, go do it. Go play at the local. Go watch your kids play basketball. Go outside. Half of y'all got kids y'all don't even watch play, but don't even watch them at all. So take them to the park. Like, go do things like that. Why y'all worried about a man who don't even know your name, who don't even pay your bills? But you booked the ticket to go fly over here.
I don't even know who you are.
And look, my brother-in-law and I were talking about this over the weekend. He does a sports related podcast as well too. And we were talking about it. Kyrie's always been trouble wherever he's gone. And he is the only one in the NBA so far that's out there that doesn't have this damn vaccine. So it's just like, is he the only really saying it? Yeah. It's like, what are they really upset about? Like, why are y'all upset? Because Kyrie's not playing? Let's be honest, man. What has Kyrie done as of lately? He ain't been doing nothing. He ain't been playing. So what's the point? Really, what's the point? What are y'all protesting for? Just because y'all want to be outside and be in a group of people?
You said it though. That's the January 6th energy that we see there. That's that January 6th.
Big January 6th energy.
Big.
I hate you, Rebecca. I hate you. Hey, we're gonna have so much fun Friday night. Friday night we are having the patron party, dress up patron party. We're also going to be meeting in person, shooting a video and shooting some photos and whatnot.
Can we make sure we have food there? Because it's like I haven't been in that type.
You got food? You got McDonald's money?
I don't do McDonald's. I really want to do crab legs.
Right? We don't.
It was a joke. It was a joke. Yeah, I know when you used to ask
Rebecca. Look, Ben, we don't get catering.
Like, are we not doing? There's places that cater. So
is it hair and makeup at least?
I'll cater. I'll bring something. No,
y'all will have craft services because the folks who do it, they do it big like that all the time. But you know
what we can do on lunch break? We can go and get some crabs.
Crab legs,
not the disease, the food.
Speaking of crabs, I was on the campus of Bethune-Cookman University yesterday.
Oh, thank you for talking about your own school.
Crabs in the pan. Crabs in the pan.
Crabs. Okay. I was like, what?
But I did pass by. I did pass by Lefevre.
Called crabs.
I did pass by Lefevre Hall though, so we could be talking about all the crabs. But anyway, that's all I had to say. I honestly didn't have anything else to say.
Yeah, Rebecca, y'all's at FAM, I think they were called crabs as well too.
Okay.
Freshmen. Yeah.
Freshmen. Y'all incoming freshmen in the band, they called crabs to be wearing the white t-shirts.
Oh,
James,
they did
recognize.
We went and did a whole report on them and had to follow them like night and day. Like
really?
Your whole, and it was like, excuse me, this is not. Why are they out here at this time of day?
I wonder what it's like now, because back in the day with us, it was an adventure.
Oh, they can't do nothing.
I believe that it's still an adventure, but I think that because of social media and things like that, they have probably like had them come in, swear that they won't say stuff. I'm pretty sure
haze nobody.
It's gotten real deep because I know at one point they were telling me that they can't do any kind of exercising anymore.
What?
They can barely do the white t-shirts because it's a form
that's
of
no
hazing.
fun.
Oh
That's
yeah,
no
man.
fun.
It's a lot of stuff now. Like the stuff we used to do, that stuff brought us closer together. I got my nails done over the weekend too. Y'all see?
Oh, it's okay.
Wait, put a little closer to the camera. A little closer to the camera. I can't see it really. Put a little,
It's
little
giving,
closer.
it's buffed and it's shaped. Okay.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that.
I was gonna get them color, but I'm like, is that too gay? It's okay. I'll do it.
But you are gay. And
Hey,
man,
I'm coming around here with all that LGBTQ.
You can be as flamboyant as you want to. You can be not flamboyant. You can be feminine today. You can be masculine tomorrow. That's your power. That's what you can do if you want to.
Hey,
Shoot,
James,
tomorrow-
man, don't come around here with all that.
Tomorrow, I might let my beard grow in. You just never know what's going on with me.
I'm about to leave.
You just never know. I might let my mustache just slide right on. Give you a nice little curl at the, on the side. You just never know what you're gonna get.
Rebecca grows a better beard than me, to be quite honest with you.
It be all up in here. It only grow on this one. It give me three. It give me 3 strands right here. Okay, thick and strong.
Love y'all. Rebecca, here's the flip side of COVID-19. The flip side of COVID-19 is the clip that you sent. Tell us about the clip, the reuniting clip that you sent.
So, with this one, I saw this and I thought this was a full circle moment for COVID-19 patients who make it through, but also their journey and how everybody in your life is affected when it comes to COVID-19. We don't see a lot of people. Well, not that we don't see. We do hear a lot of people who made it out, but we also hear about a lot of people who have passed. In this particular story, I call it a feel-good story. It might make you cry a little bit. It made me, kind of like, I don't want to run the mascara. But take a look at a mother reuniting with her baby son after a month of having COVID-19.
Wow.
Hey everyone, I'm asking for prayers. I'm in the hospital with COVID. And I just please need everybody. Just pray for me. If you don't mind. I would greatly appreciate it. What's up?
Here, White. I got a prize for you. I got a prize for you. Look.
Look at it!
Mother made it too.
Look at her, he didn't forget her. Yay, look at squeezing her. No.
He did not forget her. Look, he's just holding it. He don't want to let go.
Oh,
you did it.
You're about to make me go grab my babies. Come here, Jeremiah.
Good mama, surprise.
Oh, look at she patting and rubbing the arm.
I
Look at
want
touching
one.
mama.
He is so happy.
That's
Look
Mom.
at
Look,
me.
he's like, he ain't letting me go.
Oh. You say, no, you can't go no more. I bet this make his heart just leap.
Oh, my baby.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Look at the smile.
Look how you smiling.
Yeah, your mama. Your mama. Is that your mama? Your mama? Your mama.
You guys ready to get in this house?
Yeah, let me get the wheelchair.
Listen, she's not ready to get in the house just yet. She just wanted to hug on her baby, love on her baby.
Yeah.
And that's what, these are the truths of COVID-19.
Yeah.
This story you may not hear because the person may have passed, but thank God in this particular situation, this is a positive ending. She was in the hospital. She was battling COVID-19. Do you see how young her child is? Missing moments with your kid.
Oh my
missing
God.
moments with your family members. Not being able to be around people by yourself, secluded in the hospital. And, as a new mother. So, this just shows you that COVID-19 affects everyone. So while you guys are over there fighting for Kyrie Irving to step into the arena,
preach, buddy.
I'm not saying that he does have COVID-19, but to possibly play with people that he can give COVID-19 to, or you guys standing. And when I say that, let me be clear, because I think what people do when we speak these things online or when we say these things online, you can still get COVID-19 as somebody who's vaccinated, but your chances of living.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can look at somebody who was unvaccinated and say to that person, I may have COVID-19, right, as a vaccinated person, but I know that I probably may live to see another day.
That's right.
Right. But a lot of people like to use, and this is just a caveat while I get back to this story. A lot of people also like to use the recent death of
who was that just recently?
Why am I not remembering? That's
Lord. Who just died and they try to blame it on COVID-19?
It was
Colin Powell.
Why would I not remember that? Because I was about to name him every other name.
Because, I have a hard time remembering. Anyway, go ahead.
But with Colin Powell dying recently, a lot of people were saying, well, look, he was vaccinated, but let's understand too. Yes, he was vaccinated.
Cancer.
I'm so happy that he was vaccinated, but he was battling things, I believe, like Parkinson's disease. And
no, it's cancer. He was
it was a few things. It wasn't only cancer, though. He had underlying issues, and forgive me if I'm wrong if it's not Parkinson's disease, but when I went through and I was reading up on him, there were a lot of things that he was battling. One, not only being cancer, but not saying that, that is a reason, but that is a reason. If you have underlying conditions already, it was Parkinson's and cancer.
Both.
So, when you're battling things already, and that's a strong man, he done made it through. He's the first to be seated in that seat. Understand, as a black man. So he's been rocking and doing his thing for so long, working and things like that. Went and got the vaccine, and under these circumstances, we have to understand that he had underlying conditions and things like that. But at the same time, we can't take him and make him the example for the most of us who have gotten the vaccine and are able to say our experiences with it. Now, for this woman, I know that's a lot. There's another woman that I saw who had a similar story, couldn't be with her kids for a minute, had COVID-19, but was vaccinated and said, I'm so sick, but they even told me if I didn't have this vaccine, I wouldn't have made it past week 1.
My God. Well, I was looking at, Rebecca, as you were doing that, I was looking up the stats on it. And this is from the CDC. In the Southeast, across Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi, between 45% to 57% of children who lost a primary caregiver were Black. The people who are losing their parents are Black.
And then I just saw in the chat, somebody said, excuse me, and that's what I just asked David to check. 190,000 children, orphans from COVID. 190,000 kids now that's in the system because of COVID.
And think about this.
Of them are Black, y'all.
Yeah, and think about
it's a whole generation.
So if we want to take it there, Ben, because I didn't want to take it there, but I'm gonna take it there, right? So when it comes to the Black people, we know that there's a disparity when it comes to when it comes to the numbers, when it comes to COVID-19 and things like that. Now, I will say in this particular moment, even reading this right here, geez. But I will say in this particular moment, remember in the beginning, Ben, when we had a lot of these representatives, these Black representatives coming on to talk about their local areas. I remember Servin Jones, and it was saying how he was fighting for, getting
Omari,
and then Omari, that was in Florida. These people just were fighting to get COVID-19 in these particular places where the COVID-19 vaccine, in these particular places where people were of color. And what was happening in these places were other vaccine chasers, because that's what you call them, were coming down from other parts and coming to get the vaccine. And before the Black people in that community were able to get them, when specifically these vaccine drives were created for these Black people who were not able to get it. So in these areas, they were setting them up, and these people that were not part of the community were coming in and grabbing the
white folks. The white folks. Omari Hardy was telling us about how the white folks were coming to his district and snatching them vaccines.
And I thought that was like, just in those certain areas, but no. And it became so common in these areas that they called them vaccine chasers. So when it comes to COVID-19, Black people were put at the bottom when it came to saving their lives. When it came to COVID-19, they were put at the bottom of the list. So a lot of these people who have passed, and a lot of these kids who are orphans, we do have your local and state officials, federal officials as well, to blame for those things, because when it even comes to this, they think that our lives don't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It's just dawning on me like these are real numbers. Okay, so y'all asked me like I've been extra throughout this whole pandemic. I'm pretty sure I've taken probably 10 steps more than most people should. But it's because I ain't never want to have to spend no time away from my kids with the possibility of me being dead, right? That video speaks to me in volumes, like, because, you know, when your baby's at that age, that baby, another month, that baby would not have remembered his mother. You know what I mean? 2 months. And but then I think about that number, 120,000 kids who have lost their parents. And you're talking about 40 to 50% of them are Black. 60,000 Black kids out there. Like, I love all of y'all. Everyone is a tragedy, but it was already hard enough to be a Black child in this country in the first place. Now you got 60,000 more without parents. We got to do something. We got to. But we can't do it this morning.
But my thing is also, when we try to do stuff, what happens? Like I said, those local officials, and shouts out to them, saw that there was only particular people being taken care of when it came to getting the vaccine or trying to protect their communities. And when they looked like us, you know, they were not, they were like, those people can die. Like, we're in the middle of a pandemic. We don't know what's going to happen, but those people, they can die. And those leaders said, hell no. We're gonna get our hands on some vaccines, and we're gonna take them to these particular communities and do these drives. But even in that moment, right, they were doing something, and they were told to be stopped. they were telling other communities, or other people were telling other communities that were predominantly white, go get your vaccine in this predominantly Black area so that you would be safe. And they were going there all times of the morning and things like that, you know, saying that they deserve, because if they didn't get it, it would be something racist.
Come on, man. Funny how unafraid of Black communities these folks are when they need something in our community. They out there lined up 3 o'clock in the morning to get the vaccines. Out there running, jogging. You know, Karen out there jogging because she's ready to gentrify our neighborhood. They did the same thing with the vaccine. And we got folks like Kyrie Irving's washed up.
There's no S on his last name.
Did I put an S there? Irving's.
Irving's. You made him more than one person.
I feel like
the Kyries, the Irvings.
I'm going to the Targets. Why is it the Targets? I'm going to the Walmarts. I'm going to the Kroger's.
What they say, that mind and that mind's be killing some of y'all.
You may have had him once, but I got him all the time. He's mine.
Not mine. He's mine.
I don't even know what I was getting ready to say at this point.
Mine. Okay. And sometimes they even put a Z on the end. I don't know why.
That's what you really needed. Mine's is keeping up with the Joneses. Oh man. I don't even know what I was gonna say. It's not even important at this point. What else we got? We got a few more minutes here. Let me look at our list. They out there looking crazy for Kyrie.
And why you look like you coming straight from a bachelor's party? Yes, you know, like you had a good night, and you just coming in.
I'm trying to put it. Listen, I'm out of pocket this week. And I didn't necessarily do the best packing job, as you can imagine. I just threw some stuff in a bag, and I'm a little disappointed in my selection. So you're
giving the usher, you know, premium outfit in church. Bubba, you're giving me fresh on vacation.
Hey, it's a blue. Wait, does it not look blue to y'all? Does it look black?
No, that's giving black. Maybe a navy blue.
Right. Oh, it's blue. It's definitely blue. Oh, y'all can't see that it's blue. So no, I guess I do look like an usher. I look like a whole ass usher on here.
You're giving me
I told you like the Blues Brothers. You just missing the glasses and the hat.
You're giving me the golden.
But you said that last week. You said that this looks red too, right? You said this looks red.
Yeah, but now I actually see an orangey, pink situation going on. But don't trust my eyes. I wear glasses. I can't find them.
That's right. And you're scared of worms. Not that has anything to do with anything.
And I'm scared of the dark. So don't trust my eyes. And I be on my phone all day and night. And I got to put my light on low to see things properly on my phone. Don't trust my eyes. But no, I was saying, Bubba, you look like you're going on vacation. And I know I'm giving Dora the Explorer.
I didn't see Dora in the outfit, but I do see it in the you know. I said you came with the bang, you came down with the the bob.
Stiff wear. Stiffwell.
Oh man. Because when celebrities get their hair done, they be quick to get on the screen. Like y'all. Anyway, never mind. I'm gonna get myself in trouble. You can't. I don't want to talk about too many celebrities, and then they actually find our clips. Never mind. What's next, David? What we got? I've learned not to call people out by name on this show. I don't want to do the Riker story, but have y'all seen the pictures that came out of Rikers?
So yeah, we don't have to do the Riker story because I want.
But we gotta show those.
I want to bring back Olay on the show because she's particularly covering it. Friend to the show, Olay, who's lives in New York and who actually has clients who are in Rikers, who's covering the story. It's interesting when we see these pictures, and if we have the picture, can we bring it up? But when we see these pictures and we see, as we discuss on the show, the conditions that are unlivable, right? These are unlivable conditions. This right here is what it looks like at Rikers. And this is the intake, guys. These are people mixed with all these other this is where they're sleeping. This is what they're doing. And people are sleeping sitting up. People are sleeping on the floor. There's nowhere for them to actually be. But they are let me tell you guys, oh wow, thank God that you mentioned that, Ben, because I had posted that in my story. And somebody, I ain't gonna say no name, but one of these little beady head men that were trying to holler at me all the time.
Ooh, girl, call him out.
Commented on the photo and said,
now I gotta go see who commented.
I said, this is unacceptable. He commented on the photo. No, this is in my stories. He commented on the photo and he said, maybe they should stop doing crime.
Man, who is this clown? And why has he even got access to you like that?
Because my page is not private. But so then when I saw that, when I seen that, I said, okay, wow. So I had to get him together and I listed why it is, and I'm like, I gave him the facts, and then I told him how absurd he is by saying that, because it's almost like we as a people, when we're doing good and when we're not in these when we're not in these conditions, nobody's affected. We don't see those people as people either. We could be black or white. We won't see those people as people either. If you didn't go to court, if you missed your date as a jury or whatever, a juror, I'm pretty sure that there are people in there for simple things like that. For also simple things like smoking weed on the corner, right? But for also little things like that who are in there. Now, why would they be packing out these jails? Because they think it's more important to put people in jail for petty ass stuff like this. 1, 2, the jail. This is not new to Rikers Island. This is true to Rikers Island. This is years. I told you when we were covering this not too long ago, I was reading an article from the beginning of the pandemic that still rang true on the day that I was reading it. We're talking over a year later. And this is why, and of the conditions of the jail, people are still going on strike, but they've been going on strike since last year.
Mm-hmm.
Since last year, over the conditions, people who work there. Okay. Now you see they're sleeping on the floor. They're also having to work and run this jail. They're also having to do that over there. The inmates.
Oh, that's right. This is the same system that they had to run the jail. Mm.
So
these guys aren't even convicted. These guys still have their street clothes.
Just about to say they're not even convicted yet, and they're just in here like this.
And remember,
in a holding cell.
Yes, and remember, because of the environment in there, and because of the strikes, they're not even able to contact their lawyers, their representatives. So they're in there for longer. Some of them.
They're just throwing these kids. They're just throwing these people in here and just like shovel them in there and just like go away. But go back to the very first picture, David. If you don't mind sliding all the way back to the beginning. Y'all can't tell me that don't look like slave ship packed in.
I was just about to say the same damn thing.
And they're trying to survive. They're trying to make it to another day. They're trying.
With a mask on. Brother got a mask on. Forget this, a whole pandemic. There's nobody in that room who's safe from contracting COVID.
And he got a mask on, but he's trying so hard to rest up that he got his head by somebody's foot, y'all.
I want to show somebody something else. There's a clip. We're going to do this one in the after party because we're coming up on time, David. And I think I sent it to y'all on Twitter. But it's a clip of a gas station attendant who's giving away flowers. And he's giving it to black men and the black men have a very violent reaction to it, almost as if like, don't try me with the flower. Don't make it seem like I'm soft. The context of the people sharing the video really was just attacking black men like we're wild animals. But I'm like, do you have any idea what it's really like? See, I grew up hood adjacent, so I got a good glimpse. I got pulled over by the cops and got accosted enough to understand that I didn't need to go any further into the hood, because the life that a lot of our black brothers and sisters have to live in those environments do not allow them to be soft, don't allow them to be kind. Look at how they're having to survive in that prison cell. They're not even processed yet, y'all. They still have on their clothes that they came back from the party in. And they're having to be crowded into these situations where they have to fight for their lives, not only against the people in the room with them, but the system. And y'all want to act like, oh my God, black men are angry. Black folks are angry. I'll find the clip and we'll share it during the after party, patreon.com/like it or not. But yeah, I think if you were I think if most people in this country actually understood that you could be snatched off the streets in your clothes, thrown into these kind of conditions and completely forgotten about because you're a black man, they would have burned this country down a long time ago. Anyway, how y'all doing?
I thought Ben was clapping for himself just now.
No, I had a beat. I had a beat in my head. I had to switch. I switched gears. I got to switch gears quick. I can't stay on stuff long because I get caught up and I end up in jail. That's it. Patreon.com. James, Rebecca, you get the last word. We're getting ready to go to the after party. It's in y'all.
Yes. So thank you guys so much for tuning in once again. Patreon.com/ like it or not. Is that how you say it? Yeah. Patreon.com/ like it or not, you guys. I'm so happy that we were able to be here with you on this morning. But if you want us to continue to stay here with you on every single morning, please, if you're not a patron now, become a patron, please. Because that will secure and solidify our spots here with you every single morning, or my spot will be in a corporate office sitting there. I ain't never going back to the office, but
I ain't never going back.
Asking and sending an email soon. Okay. So I'm just trying to let y'all know, if I ain't getting paid from them no more, step up your game. I love you guys so much. I will see you in the after party. If not, I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Love you.
Every day I got to prove my love to this damn job. Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned, man. If you're not a member already, patreon.com/like it or not, patreon.com/the BPD show. Go ahead, get on there so you can get access to the after party as well too. If you're not sliding over there, we will see y'all tomorrow. And if y'all are, we'll see y'all in a few minutes, man. Y'all stay tuned and good morning again. Oh, you know what I didn't do for y'all today? What you did here? I feel like we could be so tired. I guess I do it.
Do you feel me, baby? Look in my eyes, into my heart. I know
All right, y'all. Patreon.com/like it or not. Patreon.com/the BPD show. Don't forget there is a patron party on Friday. Halloween party. You don't want to miss it. We're gonna be dressed up like all these people being gonna be dressed up like I don't know. I don't know what the hell I'm gonna be yet either, but y'all don't want to miss it, man. So go ahead, patreon.com/like it or not, patreon.com/the BPD show. Y'all get access to the patron party. Don't forget to wear y'all costumes. It's gonna be dope as hell. You don't want to miss it. And if anything, see y'all tomorrow. My mother said something. Y'all welcome back to the screen. No? Okay. I guess so. Yeah. Benjamin Dixon and Rebecca. Where's Rebecca?
She in here somewhere. Rebecca? Oh, she stepped away. Okay. All right. I thought she was here.
And David be doing them hard ass cuts.
Well, you know, it's the technology of it all, man. Welcome back to the after party, everybody. Thank you for everyone who's watching as a patron, patreon.com, and you're patron of Like It or Not, or the Benjamin Dixon Show, or you are a supporter of Act TV. Thank you for supporting us and what we do. Yeah. I got a couple of clips, man. Let's start with, this is the one I wanted to play in the main show. But David, go to let's do both of those clips. We're going to cut the recount one a little short. The recount one gives us an idea of who these people are, who's doing all of these attacks on school boards, all these anti-vaxxers, all these the type of people you saw out there with Kyrie Irving. Let's take a look at that real quick. It's a little long, so we're going to cut a little short, but let's just get an idea. It's not as many people as you would think, because they're organizing to make themselves seem like there's a whole lot of them, James. So let's take a look at that real quick. Oh, we don't have that one. Oh, I thought that's the one we do. Okay, so then that case, I'll do another setup. In other news, here we go. What do we have, David? Why don't you introduce what we have, David?
Go on, boss, and I'll give you these flowers for free.
Okay, hang on. I'll introduce you. Okay, so this is the clip. This one has a lot of profanity in it. This one I do want to set up. This is the clip that I was talking about before we left to go to break. This is the clip of a gas station owner who is trying to give flowers to black men. Now there's a portion in here where he gives a flower to a black woman and she breaks down crying because she hadn't had a flower in 20 years. So that part of the clip is touching. But the part that I don't like is the part that's being used that's looking at black men who, bro, like, you can look at the glass. You can look at the bulletproof glass at this gas station. He's in the hood. You don't go to the hood asking black men why they're not in the mood to be delicate. Let's watch the clip.
Go on, boss, and I'll give you these flowers for free.
Hey, man, ain't no motherfucking bitch, man. Fuck wrong with you, man.
What you mean, yo?
Idiot, huh? Fuck wrong with you, man.
You just destroyed the flowers.
I'm or something? Fucking bitch. This shit, man. Fuck
Yo, they're just flowers.
Fuck out of here, man. Ain't no bitch.
Because it's a bigger issue than what you think it is.
Man, you soft ass motherfucker. Bet you won't come from behind that glass.
What you mean? I'm just saying they're flowers. There's nothing wrong with them.
What the fuck wrong with you, man?
Why are you getting so pressed over flowers?
I paid for motherfucking flowers, man. I paid for my fucking Snickers, man. Fuck wrong with you?
Alright. It's just a flower.
Nah, bro.
You don't want it?
Nah.
Okay. Change is a bag. You have a blessed day, my brother. And you can have these flowers. Because I'm feeling generous today.
Some flowers?
Yeah.
What the fuck I need some flowers for?
What you need some flowers for?
Yeah.
I'm just feeling good today. I'm giving my customers flowers.
You think I'm a bitch or something, bro? I don't need no fucking flowers, bro.
What you mean, bro?
I don't need no fucking flowers, bro. I'm good, bro.
Why you so mad about just some flowers?
Bro, I'm going home to my female, bro. I don't need no fucking flowers, bro.
Oh, so you think...
Get some bullshit ass flowers, bro.
Alright. My bad, bro. My bad, bro.
Yeah, you good.
You look like you're having a bad day. Yeah, you can have these flowers. I hope it makes your day a little bit better. It's real, it's real. All natural.
She need to see you.
Thank you. I got you. Is your day at least a little bit better? It is? Let me get a thumbs up real quick. I like that. You okay?
Give me a break.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Yeah.
What's under it so I can find it?
But what made you like tear up?
Because I ain't had nobody to give me a rose in almost 20 years.
Really? I'm very glad to be the first one in 20 years. It's love.
And you saw the hurt in my face and
Yeah, most
said
definitely.
something to me and it meant something to me.
Yeah, I'm so glad. I'm very glad.
I'm MJ, by the way.
MJ, nice.
MJ, by the way.
So let me
talk to me,
because I don't think it's what you think it is, and people need to stop playing people in the chat. So it's a much bigger issue, and this goes back to some of the black issues that we have, where black men, first of all, they don't like to display their feelings, but when you have a man giving another man flowers, it comes off as a homophobic thing. So because a lot of the rhetoric that these black men are showing is I'm not no bitch. So it almost makes it seem like to them that I'm trying to downplay you or make you seem like you a bitch or a female because I'm giving you a flower. Yes, granted, the cashier or the man who recorded this video, he should have juxtaposed and he should have said something like, hey, bro, you look like you need a flower, man. Ain't no ill intent, ain't nothing else. I'm just trying to show some love. That's it. Mental health matters. But instead, these black men, as you see, are going to take it as you trying to hit on me, you trying to flirt on me. And this has always been a thing. I'm going to keep it real. Keep it 100 with you. This is always a thing. men are not secure in their masculinity or sexuality to accept some shit like that from another man. That's what it is.
So I love your point, right? I think that's a amazing point. I don't know what Ben's point, I probably missed it, was.
You were fixing some food.
Yes. And so I think, Ben, what was your point so I can make sure that...
My point is that, well, I have a second point now, and this wasn't my point before. This is not what James was responding to. I'll get back to that one. My second point, I think I heard somebody in the chat mention it. You can't be playing with folks, man. Like, don't run up on people trying to get, he even exploited the last lady, like, oh, give me a thumbs up for YouTube. But like, that's my second point. But my first point is, listen, there's very few places in these communities for anybody to have, like, where can somebody be? Let's separate the homophobia, right? Even if you're not homophobic, you can't particularly be gentle. You can't be soft. You can't be being perceived as soft is a death threat in some of these neighborhoods. You know what I mean? So it's just and it's an adverse reaction. I don't doubt what you're saying. I mean, we played the clip or we didn't play a clip. We showed the tweet from Boosie. So yeah, there's a 1-to-1 overlap with that. But I also think it's just kind of exploitive to say like, hey, let me play on the one thing that I know in this particular neighborhood. Everybody is like, nah, you can't be seen soft in these neighborhoods, man.
So yeah,
because guaranteed, if you would have did that, because this guy, if not this guy, I know other people have done it before. If he would have changed and say, hey man, here go $3 for you, or here go $5 bill, or here go a free lottery ticket, the reaction would have been totally different.
Totally different.
But when it's something that involves showing a man's masculinity or showing something else, there's always a reaction.
So it's interesting. Both of your points, I think I can definitely see. Now, I can't speak from the point of view of a Black man, but I can also speak of, on that definitely showing, a level of homophobia in some ways, because, and also it was two separate things though, the homophobic thing possibly, and the lack of these people not being taught to show emotions, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that ties into what you were saying, Ben, because we're not taught to show emotions, because if we do, then we're going to get played, right? We're going to get played because we are. Then we're Black. Then they're Black men in these communities. The struggle every day. The struggle every single day. I'm just coming here because I'm probably going to get on, because I knew the New York living child. My God, had to go to the bodega, go get me a little cheese and ham sandwich that was being cooked onto a suspect grill thing, and then get on a train with a whole bunch of miserable other people, and then 2 hours to get to my job. It's just like we already stressed out every single day, especially living in New York. You're just angry. Not for no reason, but because of a reason. Especially living in New York during the pandemic. We look at how Rikers Island is already. There's just so much going on. Police don't F with you. Your rent is too high. You're probably living in the closet for like $3,000. It's a lot happening. Now I go here. I just want to get my stuff and go. But then my thing was the
camera in the face too. I'm sorry, I didn't just thought about that.
That's what I was gonna say. The play, the wording that said, and you can tell the person behind the camera, if I'm not mistaken, is not a person of color. And yes, I may be just going off of their voice, but 9 times out of 10 at the bodega, it's not somebody who was Black at the front.
That's a nice way to Rebecca.
And that's all I'm gonna do right there. But you can tell that this person. And the fact they said giving customers in the hood flowers, right? Put that on the TikToks. And it's saying that this is people in the hood and they just automatically are hard and they're just like that, right? And it's like, first of all, my dude, the fact that you're just like saying that this is how everybody in the hood is, how the Black men in the hood will always be, it's giving just false, just. And then it's terrible because you want it to go viral. This is where, we live in a viral era where we can't put the phones down. If it was something that you were really doing to people out of the goodness of your heart, why would the cameras be up? And that's why would you be exploiting Black folks? This is when you are in New York, you know how your morning routine is. You don't want to be bothered. Okay. You don't want to be bothered. There's a lot going on. For you to go and exploit people just for your TikTok numbers. is ridiculous. And then for somebody to be, you're probably the son of an owner of the bodega, and you're talking to people who got to do 6 more jobs than you. And, like saying that you're giving flowers to people in the hood. I don't even like that. Then the last woman comes in. You're exploiting. We know how it is.
Her. Yeah.
You exploited her. We know how black women feel unseen. We feel unseen. So when we are seen, it's like a moment. Don't play on her pain, and don't play on them black men's pains either. So that when it's out here and it becomes a conversation, now we're highlighting issues that we shouldn't even be talking about from the perspective of this TikToker. Oh, that's all I got to say about that. I don't like that. I don't like how. And then it was the numbers game. It was make sure you go on my TikTok, you like it, on my YouTube, and you like it. And she thought that this was genuine. That's my thing. She believed that in this moment this was genuine. So she wanted people to follow.
And and I'm one of these hood stores. I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of these stores, they know some of these customers that come in here. Especially, and I can't say that, the owners of these kind of stores, they're used to it because my 2 gas stations up here, they know me. So if you've been in here enough times, I'm sure that this man knows some of these people because some of them are regulars. Mm-hmm. And so I ain't gonna say that makes it okay because I'm sure he got this video because there's another guy that does the same thing. He'll set up in the store and he'll have the customers even react to some of the stuff like, just play along with me. I'm going to give you $1 and say, give me 2 bags of chips. He's like, hell no, motherfucker. I ain't giving you none of this shit. Just play along with them. Yeah. So it is a form of exploitation. It really is.
We played.
Because they do these things a lot.
We played last week on this show. The little girl who was at the bodega.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Grabbing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Grabbing the food and things like that. Now, when it's positive and stuff, I'm not gonna stress on it. Get that little girl what she needs, and you can tell when people are allies in our community, right? And I don't show it off as long as she's getting free groceries and money. I don't give a damn. Like, just go on about your way because I can see what this is going to do for her, and it's positive to me. It's like, let me ask this kid to do some multiplication.
There's a way to do it. Yeah.
Some people deny. Some people deny him too. Some people deny him. Don't put me on camera. I don't want to be bothered. Yeah. And he respects that. But the ones who do want to play along, that's fine. I like when I see more allyship and it comes off as, look at these smart people in the community. That need,
because the way I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, look at these people in the community that need, and we got smart people living out here. We got beautiful people living out here. We got a community. We got a family out here. They know me and I know them. Whatever they need, I can give them. Because that's what it is. It's a partnership. That's what I viewed. This exploitation that we saw behind us. Look at Jesus shining behind me. What's that? But with the exploitation that we saw just now. The negativity, that's what I saw. And then just the caption. And even if that wasn't his caption, because people like to take the TikTok videos and move them over and whatever. Even if that wasn't, the video itself was cringy as hell. Because now we're looking at black men just mad for no reason. Who's going to watch that? Because who people on TikToks. You know who's going to watch it?
White folks.
People who ain't us, who's going to create a judgment on us. You see how just now we were able as a people to create so many different reasons as to why this could be. Trauma is what it comes down to. Life experiences that we have to deal with every day is what it comes down to. So if I want to come in and get me a damn sandwich or whatever and a coffee and go on about my way, and I do not want any flowers from you while you got this camera in my face,
that's right.
Don't question me.
Let me ask this question. Do y'all think the response would have been different if the camera wasn't in their face?
Maybe. Now imagine this.
With the black men, I don't think so.
Well, maybe it might have been. Maybe they would have probably asked, why are you giving it to me? Nah, I don't even want it. But you can tell when you're being made a joke of when somebody is doing it.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question, James. I don't think the key variable here is black men. I think the key variable here is you put anybody in the kind of conditions that black people growing up in, and you're gonna get everything from homophobia to violence to crime. I feel like if you take this, matter of fact, it's not even just that. There is toxic masculinity involved in here. You could take this down to Wall Street. Go put this camera in front of some of those bros down on Wall Street, and you want to talk about homophobia, but they don't do that. What they do is they point out the problems that exist in black men in particular. But I guarantee you take this up on down by Wall Street, you're gonna get guys who are just as belligerent, just as violent, out of fear of their masculinity. But I also compound it with the fact, man, that you don't go into a war. These blocks are war zones. His bulletproof glass it's got to be 3 inches thick. You don't go into a war zone talking about, hey man, and put a camera in their face, but hey, you want this flower? And these guys are doing real-time calculation, like, what is this? What is this? What is this? You can see the guy in the mask. He's like, what is this?
One guy was more accepting at the end, almost. And then he was like, what you give me files for? Then realizing you got a camera in your face. Now it's like, this nigga's making sorry, y'all. This man is making a joke of me. This man is making a joke of me. Like, it's funny because my mom, and you're right, this could be taught to them too. Yesterday, my mom was just telling me my brother's friends brought him flowers. It was his birthday recently. And in Haitian culture, men don't buy men flowers, especially because if you're alive, you know how we say, give them your flowers now, give the people their flowers now. Yeah. In the Haitian culture, it's like, oh no, they ridiculing you because they want you to die soon. I have to explain to my mama, you can't do that. His friends got him some flowers just because they are celebrating his life now, mama. You can't teach people that. She was just telling me this yesterday. It was so funny. So I had to teach my mom, and in different cultures are different things. But here, I agree with both of you guys, though. But this is what I'm saying. I do not want the conversation to be had by somebody who doesn't look like us, who is creating that environment.
Right. That's facts.
That's my problem.
All of those who's taking money out of that equation.
Yeah, all of those issues that you see that we just mentioned, and like both of you guys just mentioned, do apply, are happening in our communities, are a thing right now. But I don't think that this should be it was exploited, which I think heightened all of these men. When you see somebody in the corner,
it heightened us.
Take this flower. It's going to have these. You see how we're having these conversations, and it's going to start having us look at our own people side-eyed. But that's a conversation that we need to have amongst ourselves. I don't like when they try to pull that and bring that out of you to say, see, look what black men are doing. See, look how angry they are. See, look how homophobic
David, pull back
they
up
are.
that picture of Rikers, that first picture of Rikers, because the only reason it came to my mind to even play that clip today was because I'm like, yo, these boys probably went through Rikers. You don't, when it comes back on the screen, you don't survive in that kind of. There's no excuse for homophobia, bigotry, and violence, right? I'm not going to give these guys excuses because whatever violence they act on, they need to be held accountable for. But I'm sorry, you cannot be strong as that brother in that corner with that black hoodie on and that mask on. Now, either he got a whole lot of love growing up and he's surviving, sustaining himself on pure love, and he can accept flowers and his parents and all that. He got a healthy. Or that boy is dead on the inside and he's just waiting for the chance to get some freedom so he can go and be, you know what I mean? Like there's a hardening that goes into being able to survive this. And you cannot treat black men across the country like this and expect them to just be able to take flowers from you.
Or black women.
Or human beings.
It was all, this is people, period. And it was all, this is my problem because some people don't want to be bothered. Some people don't know how to be and they've never been hit on by a man, right? Or so that they may.
Well, now you're talking surreal. Go ahead, Rebecca.
They may assume and look at that. Oh, is this man trying to hit on me? I never been.
Yeah, that's the homophobia part that James was talking about.
That's what I'm saying. But some people are never taught the opposite. Some people are in these communities and never seen nothing else. You see what I'm saying? Never. You know what I'm saying? They just stuck in that. We see Boosie is over here promoting that stuck mentality. Okay, so all of that. But I do not I do not. And then the anger. And then the anger, how we mad and, the mornings that we waking up upset and tired and having to go out and do this. And then the pain of a woman who probably hasn't been loved in a long time. And for somebody to play off that pain, I got a problem with that. And when you're exploiting and now we're having these conversations, the vulnerability of a black woman, she's saying, I haven't received the rose. She made it real personal.
Yes, she
took it back a little bit and she said, I haven't received a rose in a minute. Now I'm going to just follow you just because you gave me a rose, not knowing that he gave you that rose for life.
Follow. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of
man. And I'm sure that there were You're absolutely right, man. Because I know that there were other parts of that video that he probably didn't even get that reaction. But of course, just don't include the ones where they're getting upset and angry and acting belligerent or acting upset. And that's the ones you're going to post because it knows it's going to get the most likes.
Now, that said, James, let me say where I agree with you. That shit was hella scary to watch. Like, holy shit, don't offer people flowers in the hood. All right, until we get some healing, until we get some chance to get separate from the system, because that's terrifying. And imagine being on the receiving end of that anger. Like if a man decided to hit on, like, listen, it took a minute for me to get okay with it. But I got hit on at a poker game one time, and I had to sit there. I was like, Jesus, I thought I'm evolved. You've been working on me and stuff, but it just takes a minute for you to be able to, as a man, to handle that, because that's not the culture that we grew up in.
Yeah,
but I hope that that's a culture we can teach our kids to be comfortable in.
You got to be open to the learning, because I'm cute. You know, when I got my little whiskers and my little piece of beard out on the side, someone be like, "Hey, what's up?" And I'm like, "I thank you so much, but no, but you're beautiful though." You know, and just move on with your day. Back in the day, I would never know how to take that, right? Because of how I was raised, right? My environment that's stuck.
It's about the only compliments I get these days, Rebecca. So I accept them willingly. Like,
listen, no. So I just be like, whatever. But the flowers and giving them the flowers, when you're taught that growing up, we're not having this conversation because this man done brought it up. Don't exploit these people. Stay out their face in the mornings. Get up off their behinds. Do not exploit people's pains. Do not exploit what people are going through right now. Do not make Black people look a certain kind of way, because I'm pretty sure, like Bubba said, there were other people who did not act like that with him, but he wanted to make it seem like all the people in the hood, and what do we see? The hood is equal to what? Black, right? Only and Black only. And
they stay portraying us as savages, man. That's the thing.
Yeah. So stay out of our business. This conversation will not be had. You're wrong for exploiting these people. Go have a seat, and whatever bodega that is, I would
lower the prices at your bodega.
I wish we had the information on that bodega, because I would say, F it, we're not going there anymore. Go to the one up the street and around the corner, because it's about 4 more on that street.
Right. And then, just say something, like, not for likes, man. Just like, hey, man, Black men don't do enough for we don't do enough for each other. Here's some flowers, brother. I'm giving you some flowers because you matter, bro.
That's
right. Supposed like that, man. Then it don't have to be no homophobic undertone.
He did it on purpose. He did it on purpose just to push that particular thing. And you're right.
Exactly.
If there was something under, if there was an explanation, hey, you know what?
That's what it was.
I'm not trying to hit on you. You may be having a bad day. I'm just giving you these flowers to be. No, it was to literally.
I'm gonna go get some flowers and go to the gas station and get my camera out. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, listen.
I mean, make sure that
they probably might take it, but here's the thing.
Don't wear this.
They probably might take it from somebody who looks more like them.
Because listen, he behind that bulletproof glass. You take that bulletproof glass down, he's gonna have a whole conversation with him. He'll be like, "Listen, brother, I just see you passing through here. I just want you to give you your flowers while you're living." Because there ain't no glass. That glass between him made him a lot more cavalier with his approach. That's all.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Absolutely right. He felt like I can say or do whatever, because then I got this thick ass glass between me, so you can act up, spin this little thing around or whatever, and act like you're gonna break it. Ain't nothing gonna happen.
Yeah. So I just don't like them making us. I just can't get along with any. And then it was being shared by so many Black women on Twitter.
I was gonna say, Ben,
Jesus,
and listen, I love my Black women. I love us. I love us for real. I love us for real. And I love my Black men. I love us. I love us for real. Now, there are a lot of times that we get it wrong. And I will say, in these particular conversations, it be the Black women who are posting, reposting. And it's not all Black women, but there's a community of Black women who live to literally, if a man has a penis, if he is gay or straight, they live to literally just hate to see it. And they say that all Black men, no matter what your sexuality is, are like this particular thing. I don't like it. And so when I see these conversations being had, I think what we need to understand is that who created these conversations? Who was at the other end of the camera? Because you know what they're doing? They're causing division in our community. These are conversations that we need to be having amongst each other. These are
Rebecca,
where
working that camera.
Agreements. See, I got my
The bar.
and then when I got the turtleneck.
You the turtleneck too.
It's strong.
We talking about this turtleneck.
The
I told you it's gonna be turtleneck seat. Listen.
Rebecca, the eyes are smizing. Go ahead. Do you think?
You see, right here, it's giving power. It's giving, coming up next right here on Rebecca. So, you see, it's giving that. But, I do not want these conversations to be had or be created by people who don't look like us. I literally saw the other day on the Netflix, right? On the Netflix that Dear White People was created by people who don't look like us, or is run by people who don't look like us.
Really?
Why are you guys at the forefront of the conversation of dear white people? If we're going to dear white people anyone, it should be, and it should always be Black folks who are creating those conversations. And you can tell.
know if that's true.
Oh, it's very true. We just found that out recently amongst the Dave Chappelle
Dear white
scandal.
people?
That's happening. Dear white people.
I did not know that. Hang on, let me Google some Googles.
I thought the showrunner, I thought like a couple of the showrunners are white, but I thought the leads and everything are Black.
The white woman recently that we were talking about how we see why the season is the way it is this year was because the white trans woman who actually was standing for her rights, understandably so, was
Jacqueline Moore.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know she was over Dear White People.
Because I was looking, I'm like, did people get it wrong this time? We're having a conversation about dear white people, and now it's giving me apologizing.
Okay.
To
That explains.
I like the show.
Did you watch the season and you saw it?
Freaking the block, Rebecca.
But anyway, I say all that to say we do not care. We will not allow you guys to have the conversation because y'all messed it up. Y'all messed it up. When it's between
for us to have.
I want us to have healthy conversations about things.
Right.
Even if we agree or disagree, it shouldn't be someone creating the mess for us.
That's right.
Yeah.
We already got our own mess. We got our own problems.
We got to have the conversation because and before we go, we're out of time. Listen, we're going to get out of here. Patron party Friday night. We need everybody who's a patron of any of our shows. Be there. Costume party. James will tell you more about it. But we got to have these conversations because, clearly, James, I just want to make sure you know before we get off this air, clearly you do know, I know there's homophobia in there and there's misogyny and there's toxic masculinity.
No, he did because he said the same thing you
right.
said in a sense too, Ben. He's like, this is showing how, some of these people were never taught to be a certain kind of way.
Yeah,
right.
He said the same. We're all saying the same thing.
Yeah,
there is homophobia. These are problems in our community. But
they are for us to have. There's conversations for us to discuss and for us to unravel and not to be have it thrust upon us by somebody who wants some likes for TikTok.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there you go. That's all I got. All hearts and minds clear, Rebecca, with the bob.
Is she rocking with the bob going?
The bob around.
They clear.
Bob red. But then you
bob around.
Oh,
it's giving Barbara Streisand. Bob's giving Barbara Streisand.
It is.
All right, y'all.
See y'all tomorrow, everybody. Take care.
Yeah. Enjoy the rest of your day. I
y'all.
love you guys. Happy Monday.
We will see y'all later on. People thank y'all again so much. Oh, they said, Ben, you didn't tell your story. Don't worry, y'all. Ben will tell it tomorrow. But anyway, y'all make sure y'all patreon.com. Well, y'all already part of that. Make sure that y'all have your ass at the Space Party on Friday. Y'all want to miss it? Get the time with David again. I think it's a little bit earlier this time because we'll be in the studio. So make sure that y'all are at the Patreon Party, man. You don't want to miss it. It is going to go down. I want y'all to have a blessed day and a stressless day. And here we go. Okay, that's a good one. Your affirmation for the day. I am only speaking kind words to myself today. Your affirmation today. I am only speaking kind words to myself today. Y'all remember that, all right? Y'all go be great. We will see y'all tomorrow. Deuces.
I see the blessings coming our way. I can't say that life's been perfect or complain, cause life's been worth it. And all because of who